Mm. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome to the weekly training. This is something that I feel is so overlooked, obviously, in our medical system, but really when people are either trying to fix their gut on their own or even seeing a functional medicine doctor or naturopath or health coach or whoever it might be, right? I feel like this is the missing piece of the puzzle. So this is a really important training. It's going to be good for everybody. Even if you don't feel like you're stressed, like I really don't feel like a stressed person. You don't have to feel stressed to have stress affect your gut. And I'll explain what that means because you might be going, what are you talking about? I really don't feel like a stressed person. I can't stand listening to my own voice. Um, let's just make sure everybody knows we are live. I I I couldn't remind everybody again because Facebook blocked me from sending you all your reminder messages. So I apologize. I try to get them out. I'm going to try and get out the reminder, or not the reminder, the replay tomorrow, and Nicole will as well, for those of you who asked for the replay, but Facebook keeps blocking us. So I don't know what we're going to do about this whole Facebook situation, but we're doing our best. So if you are joining me live, say hello. If you're on the replay, give me a hashtag replay. And we will start with relaxing the neck and shoulders, closing down your eyes if that feels good for you, or if you can look outside at nature. And we're just going to relax and check in with your body and just forget about your to-do list, forget about anything that's going on after this 15-minute session, and just land here in your body in this present moment. Take a nice big breath in through the nose, way down into the belly. Let it out with a big sigh. Relax all your muscles on the big exhale. Let's do one more breath like that. Biggest breath of the day. Breathe down low into the bottom part of the lungs. Expand the belly, expand the ribs. Let it out. Big audible sigh. What you just did was told your body that you are safe. In that 20 seconds, you just told your body you are safe. You are safe to breathe. You are safe to relax. You are safe to do whatever you're going to do. And that is really the goal for us and our bodies, is to tell our bodies that we are safe. So over the years, we have been in many unsafe situations, whether childhood, adulthood, teenagerhood, if that's a word. And our body tends to pick up on these cues of not being safe, not being safe, not being safe. And it tends to always be on the lookout for those repeated patterns, right? So, as an adult, even if we are safe, your mind is still looking for those patterns to protect you, right? Our bodies are very smart. The mind goes, protection, protection, protection. I'm always scanning for something to be going wrong. So, what we need to do is tell our body that we're safe, because the only way our body can heal, the only way our body can digest, and the only way our body can sleep is if the body knows that we are safe. So you can be doing all the right foods, all the right supplements, exercising your butt off, and you are still bloated, constipated, gaining weight, have migraines, can't sleep, right? Because all the right foods and all the right supplements in the world are not going to help if your body does not feel safe. So you're not doing anything wrong. but you're probably very frustrated because the things that you are doing right are not working, right? So let me know in the comments. Just give me a yes in the comments if that feels familiar to you. Like you're eating the foods that you think you should be eating, you're taking supplements that you think you should be taking, you go on your walks, you do your exercises, and somehow you still don't feel good. Just give me a yes in the comments if that resonates with you. You are not alone. Probably every single woman in this group of 3,000 probably feels that way, right? So it comes back to physiology. This is not about this being all in your head. This is what a lot of doctors will tell you. It's all in your head. You're just stressed. You just have anxiety. It's not in your head. It is a basic physiological process in the body. So we have two states of our nervous system, sympathetic and parasympathetic. So sympathetic is survival. So this goes all the way back to caveman days, right? Survival. So when we're in sympathetic mode, that's how we survive. If we never had sympathetic mode, we wouldn't survive. We would just lay down and a tiger would come kill us and eat us, right? So we need that sympathetic mode. Then our parasympathetic mode is repair. That's that rest, digest, and heal. In this sympathetic mode, your body will not digest. It shuts down digestion in the sympathetic mode because there's too many other things to be dealing with. We need to be dealing with perhaps running from a tiger, or if we're talking about current times, we're obviously not running from tigers anymore, but we are checking emails and picking up the kids from school and dealing with sick parents, and the list goes on and on and on and on, right? Things that are bringing us stress and putting us in survival mode. So when your nervous system is always scanning for what we need to be doing, like what do we need to remember? Where do we need to go? Where do we need to drive? Right? It's not digesting. Okay. So it's not all in your head. It is actually physiologically in your body. So when we're in that fight or flight, which could be anything from scrolling Instagram, could be stressful, right? Just a minor stress. Picking up the kids from school could be a little bit stressful. Checking your email could be a little bit stressful. So those are kind of the baseline things that we just have to do on a daily basis that are stressful. But this could run the spectrum all the way up to I have a sick parent that I'm taking care of, or I have a sick child that I'm taking care of, or I'm constantly worried about my own health issues, right? Or I don't know how I'm going to pay the bills this month. There's an endless list of things, right? Here's what happens when we're dealing with any of those stressors. Your stomach acid decreases. Your body isn't going to send out stomach acid to digest food when it is worried about staying alive, survival, right? The motility slows down. So we need motility. Your muscle contractions, your whole digestive system has this motility where it moves the food properly through the digestive tract to be digested and excreted, right? It can slow motility or it can speed it up so that it's erratic. So if you have great snake-like number 4 bowel movements, you probably have good motility. If you're constipated, you probably have slow motility. If you have loose stools, diarrhea, then you probably have that erratic, fast motility. The blood is directed away from the digestive organs into your brain and to your extremities because that's how you deal with survival, right? Your body doesn't produce the digestive enzymes that it needs from the pancreas in order to break down foods. Your gut bacteria live on the same rhythm as you do. So your gut bacteria live in the circadian rhythm, right? Up with the sun, down with the sun. They live, if you're stressed, they're stressed, and they go into different modes when you are stressed. And so if you are stressed and you put food in the body and the bacteria is like, whoa, we didn't know food was coming down the pike, right? The whole system is off. And then you can't repair. So not only does digestion not happen, but the gut lining that renews itself every 5 days or so, right? We really want that strong gut lining that we learn from our leaky gut trainings. The repair work that needs to happen to build that lining strong doesn't happen when we're in stress mode either. So at the end of the day, you can eat the cleanest food in the world, right? The body is not working if it's in stress mode. It's not only not digesting the food, but it's not absorbing the nutrients from that very clean meal. And then it can't use those nutrients to rebuild the gut lining. So, this is a really powerful thing to be aware of because it stops that frustration pattern. 9 out of 10 women who come to me just say, Marissa, I'm so frustrated. I'm eating so clean and I keep cutting foods out and I keep exercising more and I keep doing this and I keep doing this. And it's like you're in this hamster wheel of adding all these different things that you're doing, but really you're perpetuating the cycle by adding that stress on, right? So this is a cycle that most women, I would say, are living in. So it's this chronic low-grade stress. It's not necessarily that it's there's a big event that happens that stresses you out. It doesn't mean that it has to be a divorce or a trauma or something major. It's this chronic low-grade stress, right? That is just the rushing around, the multitasking, the overthinking, the worry, the people pleasing, the cutting out more and more foods, right? All these little miniature stressors are keeping your gut from working properly, right? But these are the stressors we don't really think of as stress. If I asked you today what's stressing you out, right? You'd probably be like, oh, I don't feel that stressed. Or maybe you do have a big stressor. But some days you go, oh, I don't feel that stressed. But if we really took a look at your life, are you ever getting your body out of stress mode for any amount of time throughout the day? So really think about what times of the day am I completely out of stress mode? I'm not scrolling my phone. I'm not checking email. I'm not dealing with other people and their problems. I'm truly in rest and digest. So thinking about that, when are you ever truly in just rest and digest mode? So I want you to take some time and think about that and start to become aware in your everyday life. So many women are living in fight or flight almost 24/7 and are not aware of it. And this is the big digestion problem. So many of you know I had a fire. It's coming up on a year ago now. And we had to move 3 times. We've had all these different, it's been a very weird year. I'll just say that. I was eating the same foods, taking the same supplements, but I started having reactions in my body that I'd never had before. And this made me realize, even though I don't, if you asked me if I was stressed about the house and about the moving, I would say, no, I don't really feel stressed. But the body takes on the perceived stress, even if your conscious mind is saying, no, I'm not stressed, your body knows the truth. Your conscious mind is your thinking mind, but your subconscious is in your body. And that's where the truth lies, is in your body. Your body will override what you are trying to tell yourself, right? So I really had to live what I teach for the first time since I built my program. And this last year, I rebuilt my entire program around creating safety in the body first. Because I now know, I went through a 14-month course last year on the nervous system, and I now know that nothing will work if your body doesn't feel safe. Deep in, not just your thinking mind, but deep in. So when I work with women now, we follow a specific order I put everything in a specific sequence so that everything will work down the line, right? We don't just jump in to step 7 on step 1. It's not going to work, right? So restoring nervous system safety has to be first, and it has to be a part of every step down the line. This isn't a one-time deal where you just breathe and meditate and go, okay, I feel safe in my body now, and then go run out and go back to your normal life. This is a pattern interrupt and a new way of sending signals to your body. So that when you do eat that food nourishes you deeply because you're breaking it down properly. When it moves through your digestive system, you're drawing the nutrients from it, and you're able to use those nutrients for the things that they need to be used for. And then your gut bacteria is fed, and the gut bacteria actually creates neurotransmitters, messaging signals that message from your gut to your brain and back and forth. So your vagus nerve connects your brain to your gut. That's when people say that gut-brain connection. It's a physical thing. It's not a woo-woo like meditation thing. It's a physical thing. And your gut bacteria make the little messengers, the little mailmen that bring the messages back and forth. So when we eat the proper foods now, and the proper foods feed our good gut bacteria, and our gut bacteria make neurotransmitters. In particular, one is called GABA. You may have heard of GABA. This is a neurotransmitter that your gut bacteria actually produce. Now your GABA is a brain calming neurotransmitter. When it sends the signal up to the brain can actually calm. And in return, the gut is calm. So it's a circular process. It's a cycle. Your gut calms your brain, and your brain calms your gut through these neurotransmitters made by your bacteria, right? So when we go in the right order and we create safety in the body, the foods work, the supplements work. We test your gut microbiome to see maybe you're not making any GABA in your gut, and maybe that's something we need to help you do. Maybe you're not breaking down protein in your gut, and that's something we need to help you do, right? Maybe we can see you have slow motility, and we need to address that, right? But that's not the first piece. We have to do it in the right sequence. And so when there's external stressors, because there always will be, I don't know of anyone in the entire world that lives in a non-stressful situation. Maybe there are people, but you might think that someone that's rich isn't stressed. I guarantee they're probably more stressed than we are. You might think that someone who's retired isn't stressed, but maybe that retired person is taking care of a sick husband, right? So everyone, you might look at other people and think, oh, they must have it, the life, right? Everyone has stressors. It's how we deal with the stressors that predicts how our body is going to reflect that stress. So there's two people in the exact same situation, two people sitting in traffic. One person is honking and yelling and is freaking out because they're going to be late to their meeting, and the other person sits and goes, there's really nothing I can do, turns on their favorite song on the radio, bebops to the song, and their body is calm. This body thinks that this person needs to be in survival mode, right? So this person's in rest and digest. This person is in fight or flight. This person is not going to digest their food for many hours. This person could probably pick up something and eat right now and be fine. So you can see how the same exact stressor can affect two people differently. So realizing how we manage our own stress in every moment of every day is huge. And then also adding in, remember when I asked you, how many minutes of the day, how many hours of the day are you in rest and digest? Truly, right? Adding in more minutes, more hours when you are truly in rest and digest is so important. So it's managing how we handle the stressful situations, and then it's also getting the body into rest and digest intentionally every single day, right? So going back to that breath we did in the very beginning, let's close it out with 2 more breaths like that. So relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the neck, taking the breath out of the neck and the chest, bringing it down into the belly. In fact, place one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, and only breathe into the bottom hand. Breathing in through your nose. Fill your body. Bring more oxygen in than you think you can. Let it out with an audible sigh. One more. Inhale deeply. Down into that bottom hand. Audible sigh. Relax your muscles. And then just be quiet for a moment and check in with your body. How does that feel in your body? What changes when you do that? Do you feel calmer? Do you feel like you can think clearer? Like you can make decisions better? Do you feel warmer, colder, slower? Maybe you feel no difference. But just checking in with your body and listening to your body and listening to the cues when you're in stress mode and when you're not in stress mode, right? Listen, check in with your body. How is it feeling? And what can I do to let you know that we are safe? Those are the good, big questions to ask yourself. So that's the state where digestion begins, right there. We are safe. So if this resonates with you and you feel like, yeah, I might need a little bit more support in this area, I think this might be affecting my digestion, please feel free to book a complimentary call. I offer complimentary calls to everyone in this group. We'll just talk about your goals, talk about what is going on with you and your digestion and all of your health symptoms, and see how we can get you moving forward, right? See where we can just get you next best steps. If you feel like you've been trying to heal while you're in fight or flight, this might be your sign that, okay, I think I might need a little support with this. And I'm very, very, very happy to support you. So if this resonates with you, comment yes in the chat. I want everyone who watches this video to see that they are not alone. Because that's such a big piece of this is we feel like we're the only weirdos that are dealing with these certain things. And what is wrong with me? Right? But then you see you're not alone and you see that it's not your fault. That right there can put your body into safety mode. Right? So I sincerely hope that you can take these tips with you throughout your day and that you start to just listen to your body, check in with your body, and give it those safety signals so you can start digesting much, much better. Hi, Tina. Hello, Linda. I still have issues eating fast, which I think is a stress thing. Deep breathing helps. Yes, Tina, absolutely. And I have the same issue. I worked in the restaurant business for 25 years. You only get 20 seconds to eat your dinner, right? Well, I don't work in the restaurant business anymore, but clearly my brain is still stuck on that. So I really have to be very intentional with my eating to make sure I don't eat too fast, right? Because you want your food to basically be sort of like applesauce texture by the time you swallow it so that your stomach doesn't have to do so much work. And then all the way down, more work needs to be done. And so chewing, enjoying the company of the people you're with, or maybe looking outside at nature, eating outside is the best. Nature is immediately calming, right? All those things are going to help the entire process all the way down. So if you have any questions, please drop them into the chat. Whether you are here live or whether you are watching on the replay, happy to answer any questions for you. And I am going to be out of town next week, so no training next week. And I'm going to be moving to a monthly workshop rather than a weekly training. It just becomes a lot when I'm in the middle of client meetings and things like that to do this every week. So I'm going to do a monthly workshop. And I posted in the group asking you what day and time would be the best for you. I want to make sure that the most amount of people in the group are able to come. So if you could go to that post and just help answer my poll, then I can make it at the time of the week that is best for the majority of the people in the group. You can also just drop it right here in the comments if you have a particular time that would be better for you. So if there are no questions, then thank you, thank you, thank you for showing up for yourself today. Thank yourself. Show gratitude for yourself for showing up and for putting in the work. And I hope you all have a wonderful couple of weeks. I'll be in Arizona next week watching the Mariners play baseball, and then I'll see you when I get back. Bye, everybody.